priority, go get a smog check today. My check engine light isn't on. There is a pending code.
Have you heard of Northridge Fix? It's a YouTube channel. I didn't know it was a block from my house right next to where I get my smog checks. That guy's the owner of this whole thing, the gas station. He's a cool guy. The smog check guy ended up telling me there's a pending permanent code. Even though my check engine light isn't on, whatever's wrong needs to get fixed. Drive the car, see when the light comes on. If this thing needs a new transmission, I'd rather get it fixed now when I'm near home than out on the road. But this thing is working fine, so it doesn't make sense to spend $4,000 on a new transmission.
New transmission. At AMCO, I checked AMCO, is over $4,000. I went to AAA, I paid for my registration. I'm in California, by the way. I know. As long as you pay the fees, you're not gonna have any penalties. But they won't give you your sticker. I park at Malibu all the time, and they are vigilant on giving their tickets. I'm at Malibu, and another guy with a van actually saved me. A storyteller. Really expensive van. And I'm like, why is this guy looking at me like that? The cop's looking at my plate. This is your van. I explained to him, I paid the registration. I need to get a new transmission. He actually had sympathy for me. Didn't give me the ticket. I wasn't able to go back to the beach. It's now a priority. I could go on a Mammoth trip. My sticker is March. It's still really early in the year. Cops aren't really looking for next year's sticker yet. In Malibu, they're out walking around and they get a close look.
An OBD2 plugs in under the dash. Turn the car on. 0740 torque converter clutch circuit open. It could be a transmission, could be a solenoid thing.
All right, I got the solenoid. Put it in. It's not that hard. So you just pop off the front of the transmission, but it was a waste of time. I did all the research. If you were getting a 0740 code, you're gonna need to get a torque converter. If you're getting the torque converter, you might as well get the whole transmission. You might as well go to Van Nuys, because what better place to get a transmission for your van than Van Nuys? Yeah, it's California. But if you're close by, I got mine for $2,400, new parts. The people there are so nice. How many times do you go to any auto repair shop and they're not nice to you? Abel, he was such a cool guy. West Coast Transmissions. Tell him that I sent you.
It's interesting that this is happening right now. I am working on a video. If you buy a high mileage van or Promaster.
I did go to Mammoth. It was so depressing, the idea that I was going to have to turn my home in. It takes a week to do a transmission. My experience in the past, you never know if you're actually going to get it back in the amount of time that they said. My last time with the van. Mammoth wasn't too busy, but the hot springs were packed.
Stocked up on food. Right out here, out the window, God's hot tub.
Taking a 700-mile trip knowing that there was a problem with the transmission was a huge mistake. But I did get lucky. The day after I got back, I drove uphill to go somewhere from my house, and suddenly my car wouldn't go forward. It wouldn't do anything. Fortunately, I was able to coast back home, which was a miracle.
Stuck here at my neighbor's. Didn't get far from home. I have to dump my water, so conveniently my neighbor happens to be watering. Oh, we're not even supposed to do that. It's drought. Cleaning his driveway with the hose. Interesting. Walked over, got my dad's truck so I can follow the tow truck driver when they get here. First tow truck driver was unable to tow me.
Over to the transmission shop.
That was very close. Dude, he squeezed that in there crazy. Just about to drop the van. Just ran into an old acquaintance, Suki from Bad Hot Dogs.
How cool would it be to have an armored van? Look at that. It's an armored cash carrying van. Remember when Snoop was afraid that he was going to get shot and he bought an armored truck to cruise around LA in? Here it is. New transmission, no more check engine lights, and I'm ready to pass smog. I put myself under so much stress over this smog and transmission. I should have just gotten the transmission fixed when WestCoast Transmission told me, like, hey, but I thought oh, maybe I could not have to pay thousands of dollars to get past this. But my instincts were telling me that they were right and I should have just done it. I think really the stress was just that I didn't have the money to pay for it, and I ended up putting it on my credit card, so I still technically haven't paid for it. And I'm putting all my time into this YouTube thing, hoping that it might pay off. I think I have a lot more to offer the world doing this than at some mundane job.
Hold on, my friend. It's done. That is so funny.
In the future, if you get a 0740 code on your V6 gas Ram Promaster, get it fixed because it is going to go out. I know it seems like everything's fine and the transmission's working perfectly, but all of a sudden you're not going to be able to go forward, so go get it fixed.